Let me share a truth that could change your life if you let it sink in. The richest people in the world aren't just employees. They're entrepreneurs, investors, inheritors, and those with rare skills. If you want to manage your money like the top 1%, you need to understand what these groups have in common. They own things. Entrepreneurs own businesses, investors own assets, and others own trusts or rare abilities. The key is ownership. If you don't own something, you're being owned. That's the secret most people miss. So how do you start owning things like the 1%? You need a system. That's where the 25-15-50-10 rule comes in. This rule is designed for anyone, no matter your income, to manage money like the wealthy. It's not about how much you make, but how you manage what you have. I've used this rule for decades, starting with nothing, and it's helped me become a multimillionaire. Let's break it down and see how each part works. First, 25% of your income should go toward growth. This isn't about vague ideas like positive thinking or meditation. It's about putting your money into things that increase in value. Most people get paid, pay bills, and spend the rest on things they don't even remember. That's why 99% of people own nothing of value. The system is designed to keep you broke by payday, so you're always working harder just to keep up. But you can break free by making your money work for you. Think about it. In the past, slaves worked every day for no pay but got food, shelter, and water. Today, most people work nearly every day, get paid, but spend most of their money on the same basics: food, shelter, and water. The only thing that's changed is the illusion of freedom. Once you see this, you can start fighting back by putting your first 25% into assets, things that grow in value and put money in your pocket, even when you're not working. The idea is simple. While you're out working, your assets are working for you in the background. Eventually, these assets could even make you more money than your day job. You might think you don't have enough to invest, but the sooner you start, the better. Let me show you why starting early is so powerful. Meet Billy and Phil. Billy starts investing $200 a month at age 20. Phil waits until he's 30 but invests $300 a month to catch up. Fast forward to age 60. Billy has invested $96,000, Phil $108,000. You'd think Phil would have more, right? Not quite. Because of compound growth, Billy ends up with nearly $1.26 million, while Phil has about $678,000. Billy invested less but started earlier, and that made all the difference. That's the magic of compound growth. The earlier you start, the more your money can grow over time, even if you're investing smaller amounts. Waiting costs you more than you think. So, how do you actually get started? Step 1 is to pick your growth assets. There are many ways to grow your money, but not all carry the same risk or reward. Think of them as a scale from safe and steady to high risk, high reward. At the lower risk end, you have index funds, great for most people. You're not picking winners, just buying a slice of the whole market. Then there's real estate, either through rental property or REITs, which let you invest in property without buying a whole building. In the middle of the risk scale are skills. Learning a skill that makes you money, like copywriting, editing, sales, or coding, is one of the fastest returns on investment you'll ever see. Unlike stocks or property, no one can take your skills away from you. It does take time to learn, but it's worth it. Further up the risk scale are online businesses, like dropshipping or selling digital products. These can pay off big but require effort, and you'll probably fail a few times before you succeed. Then there are individual stocks. It's tempting to try and pick the next big winner, but unless you really know what you're doing, keep it small and treat it as a hobby, not your main strategy. At the top of the risk scale are alternative investments: Bitcoin, Ethereum, NFTs, gold, wine, sneakers, and more. You can make money, but you can also lose it overnight. These are your moonshots, fun to try, but not where you build long-term wealth. Start with the basics like index funds and high-income skills, then experiment as you grow more confident. Knowing what to invest in is just the start. You also need to know how to invest. If you use the wrong kind of account, you could lose thousands to unnecessary taxes. That's why step 2 is to set up tax-advantaged accounts. These accounts help you legally save as much money as possible. Let's look at some examples. If you're in the UK, one of the best options is the Stocks and Shares ISA. You can invest up to £20,000 a year and anything you earn is tax-free. Platforms like Trading 212 make it easy to set up. Just select the Stocks and Shares ISA when you sign up. Plus, some platforms offer bonuses for new users, like free fractional shares. If you're working a 9-to-5 job, you probably have access to a workplace pension. Usually, you put in 5% and your employer matches with 3%. That's basically free money. You don't pay tax on the money while it's growing, only when you take it out later. Always take advantage of employer matches if you can. If you're in the US, the Roth IRA is one of the best accounts you can open. You invest money you've already paid tax on, but every penny it earns grows completely tax-free. When you retire, you can take it out with zero tax. The limit is $7,000 a year if you're under 50. Even billionaires use this account to build wealth. Another great U.S. option is the 401k, which is like a workplace pension. Money comes out of your paycheck before tax, grows tax-free, and if your employer offers a match, you should definitely take it. These accounts help your investments grow faster by reducing your tax bill. If you're not in the UK or US, there are still tax-advantaged accounts available in many countries. Do your research to find the best options in your region. The key is to take advantage of any tax savings your country offers to help your investments grow faster. A common mistake is opening these accounts, putting money in but not actually investing it. Step 3 is to actually start investing. Once you've picked your growth assets and set up your account, it's time to put your money to work. The best way is to set up a monthly transfer from your bank to your investment platform, ideally on payday. This way, you're not tempted to spend it. When your money lands in your investment account, don't stress about timing the market or picking the perfect stock. Look for index funds. A popular method is the 3-fund portfolio: a U.S. stock index fund, an international stock index fund, and a bond fund. This mix gives you growth, global exposure, and stability. For your U.S. stock index fund, you might choose something like the S&P 500 or the Vanguard Total Stock Market Index Fund. These funds let you own a tiny piece of hundreds of the biggest companies in America, like Apple, Amazon, and Coca-Cola. Look for accumulation funds that reinvest dividends automatically. Next, add an international fund, like the iShares MSCI World UCITS ETF. This gives you exposure to companies from Europe, Japan, Canada, and more. It's like having a collection of businesses from all around the world, which helps diversify your investments. Finally, add a bond fund, like the iShares USD Treasury Bond 7-10-year UCITS ETF. This is like lending money to the U.S. government, which pays you back with a little extra. Bonds are generally less volatile than stocks and help smooth out the ups and downs of the market. Once you've chosen your funds, you can adjust how much money goes into each. An aggressive approach might put 90% in stocks and 10% in bonds for higher growth but more ups and downs. A less aggressive mix could be 80% stocks and 20% bonds. As a rule of thumb, the older you are, the more bonds you should have. Once your investing is automated, your job is simple. Stop fiddling and focus on making more money. The people who build wealth aren't picking the fanciest stocks, they're consistently putting in more over time. Now, your focus should be on increasing your income so you can invest even more. The next 15% of your income should go towards stability. This is the part that keeps you in the game. Not all your money should go into growth or spending. Some needs to be set aside to protect your progress. I learned this the hard way when I had no savings and my car broke down, which set me back a whole year. Most people don't have a money problem, they have a stability problem. One unexpected bill and everything falls apart. Even if you're investing, you might be forced to sell at a bad time if you don't have a safety net. That's why you need a margin for error built into your life. To build your stability fund, start by listing your core expenses: groceries, rent, utilities, transport, and essential services. Add them up to get your monthly baseline. Multiply that by 5 months to get your ideal stability fund. For example, if your expenses are $1,500 a month, aim for $7,500 in your fund. Where you keep your stability fund is just as important as having it. It must be easy to access, available within 24 hours. Don't lock it up in accounts with penalties or long waiting periods. When things go wrong, you need speed, not delays. Your stability fund should be zero risk. Don't invest or gamble with it. Don't put it in the stock market or crypto. But it should still earn a little. Look for high-yield savings accounts with 4 or 5% interest, no penalties, and FDIC insurance for safety. Building a stability fund doesn't have to take years. Use 3 tactics. The paycheck sweep: move 15% of your income to savings as soon as you're paid. The replacement promise: if you use your fund, replace it right away. And the save by spending hack: use roundup apps or cashback to add to your fund. The next 50% of your income should go toward essentials, the things that feed you, not your ego. Surprisingly, many high earners still live paycheck to paycheck because they focus on looking rich instead of becoming rich. It's not about how much you earn, but how much you waste. Wealth isn't what you see, it's what you don't see. It's easy to justify upgrades, but that's how lifestyle creep starts. Get clear on your essentials. Essentials are what keep you alive and functioning: rent, groceries, utilities, transport, insurance, and basic clothes, not the latest designer drops or unused subscriptions. Take out unused subscriptions and unused gym memberships aren't essentials. Go through your bank statements and cancel anything you're not using. If it's not helping you live, work, or stay healthy, it probably doesn't belong in your 50%. Cap essentials at 50% to force yourself to eliminate what you don't need. To make the biggest impact, focus on your two largest expenses, housing and transport. Housing is usually the biggest, but it doesn't have to grow with your income. Renegotiate your rent, consider house hacking, or even move back with parents while you build your buffer. For transport, avoid new car payments, buy used, reliable cars, or consider going car-free if possible. When you're tired or stressed, willpower fades. The top 1% don't rely on willpower, they build systems. Every time you're tempted to buy something, run it through a few key questions. Is it an impulse purchase? If not and it's essential, go ahead. If yes, use the 7-day rule, wait a week before buying. After 7 days, ask yourself if you still want it. If you do, ask, are you buying for the brand or the value? If it's for the brand, don't buy it. Wealthy people focus on value, not marketing. For example, a $60 pair of boots worn 100 times is better value than $200 designer trainers worn twice. Finally, ask, will this improve your life? If yes, and it's a conscious, intentional purchase, go ahead. If not, it's probably just about impressing someone or chasing a dopamine hit. Once you practice this process, you'll make better decisions automatically. It's not about being tight, it's about being intentional. The last 10% of your income should go toward rewards, the part that keeps you sane. Money isn't just about growth, stability, and essentials. You're allowed to enjoy it too. Most people skip this and wonder why saving feels pointless. This 10% is your cheat meal. It makes your financial plan sustainable. To make rewards guilt-free, spend on things that bring value. Vacations, hobbies, nights out, and gifts for loved ones are all great uses. These create memories, reduce stress, and strengthen relationships. I learned the hard way that ignoring these can lead to burnout and lost connections. Open a separate bank account and call it your Joy Jar. Set up an automatic transfer of 10% of your income each month. Don't cheat by topping it up from other funds. If it runs out, wait until next month. This helps you maximize your fun money and keeps your financial plan on track. If your Joy Jar isn't very full yet, prioritize experiences over things. People often ask what I'm saving for, but I spend differently. I don't need a garage full of cars or designer gear. My 10% goes on things I'll remember, like trips with family and friends, or special experiences that matter. This approach isn't about depriving yourself. It's about spending intentionally on what truly matters. The 25-15-50-10 rule helps you grow wealth, stay stable, cover essentials, and enjoy life along the way. It's a complete system for building sustainable wealth without feeling like you're missing out. Let's recap. 25% of your income goes to growth, 15% to stability, 50% to essentials, and 10% to rewards. This system works no matter your income. It's not about being perfect, but about being consistent and intentional with your money. Start small if you need to, but start now. The best time to start is now. Even small steps add up over time. Automate your savings and investments, review your expenses, and set up your Joy Jar. The sooner you begin, the more you'll benefit from compound growth and financial stability. Remember, it's not about how much you make, but how you manage it. You now have the blueprint for managing your money like the 1%. Use the 25-15-50-10 rule as your guide. Focus on ownership, consistency, and intentional spending. Over time, you'll build real wealth, enjoy life, and protect yourself from financial surprises. This is your journey. Make it count.